Welcome to class, and today we will start with a new chapter.
Today we start with book 2 chapter 1 and the name of the chapter is structural change. In today's lecture we will cover the meaning of structural change and colonialism and structural change. We start with the meaning of structural change. Most sociologists have analyzed social change in India in two categories. First is structural processes and second is cultural processes. So the structural processes of change refer to the change in social relationship like caste, family, kinship, etc. Structural processes of change due to the transformation in the network of social relationship is the actual meaning of structural change. Caste, family, kinship and occupational groups are the main aspect of structural processes. Changes in the predetermined relationships in them are called structural change. Earlier, India had a traditional agricultural system which was run on family endeavor. But now agricultural work is carried out not only by members of the family but by laborers and machines. This kind of change is called structural change. Similarly, the disintegration of joint families and the emergence of nuclear family are indicator of changes in the structure and their type. This structural change take place because of the changes in the function of peoples. Before the advent of modernization in India, there was not much hectic activity or major up and down in society. Life moved on in a definite pattern. People adopted the family occupation in their social and moral life. Their life was dictated by the group or organization they belonged to. They did not have any personal identity. They were bound as a particular family, street or village, caste or kinship with the entire society. But in contemporary Indian society, changes and transformations are happening at a great speed. All this is the gift of modernization, industrialization, urbanization and westernization gives to us during the colonial rule. Indian society came in contact with Western society and was influenced by it during the long spell of the British rule. The Indian society was influenced by Western culture, administrative system, education and their idea and conduct. If we look at Indian history, we see that a wave of new awakening arose during the colonial period. While the Indians were in fear of their exploitative attitude, the feeling of nationalism was awakened in them to defeat the enemy at the same time. On the other hand, during this period, while all the Indians united with one string, the forces of modernization and capitalism led to various socio-economic, political and administrative changes in the country. Now we talk about the meaning of colonialism. The European countries discovered many new lands and many of them like Portugal, Spain, France, Germany commenced their trade activities in these newfound lands. Gradually, they took over trade and industries in these countries on the strength of colonialism, industrialization and urbanization. In India, they managed to take control of the governance. Queen Victoria became the first crowned queen of India. Due to the long rule of British in India, there were many changes in Indian society and Indian culture during this period. We can say that colonialism is the practice by which a powerful country directly controls less powerful country and uses their resources to increase its own power and wealth. Colonialism simply means the establishment of rule by one country over another. in the modern contexts, the developed country tried to establish control over the underdeveloped or developing countries through trade activities. They use the resources of these countries to manufacture things and sell their product to the people of these countries and put all the profit in their own pockets. Thus, colonialism has not only impacted the Indian economy but also its culture very deeply. Now we talk about the impact of colonialism on Indian society. Indian society came face to face with Western society during the colonial period. Since they were opposite, exchange was natural. This is the period that ushered in the modern period in Indian society. The forces that led to changes were both external and internal. External forces were westernization, modernization, secularization, industrialization, etc., while internal forces were Sanskritization and urbanization. Due to these forces, the following changes took place in the Indian society. In all areas, there has been a change in our food, clothing, language, architecture, and can be studied through industrialization and urbanization. Expansion of capitalist system. British colonial was based on a capitalist system and tried to ensure greatest profit to British capitalism. Then second was the ban on the entry in the forest area. If entered into forest and converted them into tea plantation, it brought in Forest Act that changed the life of people living in and around the forest. Then come the emergence of nationality and anti-colonial consciousness during colonialism. Colonialism introduced a wide range of change in every sphere such as global, legal, cultural, architecture. Though some of these changes were deliberate, the other happened unintentionally.
That's it with today's session. Hope you all understand that. If there is any kind of doubt, feel free to ask. Thank you.